Started 32. Hold on, 5. I moved them down 31 this week. Yeah, this team is just bad. Let's be honest. Like they lost 38-20 to the Falcons. The Falcons are a good team. You see where I have them ranked later. But yeah, it's like Panthers are just bad. Like they're hell a ton of injuries. The quarterback's not that good. They don't have that many good weapons. We'll see if they end up trading Deontay Johnson. They're just bad. So yeah. So yeah, then number 31, I get the Tennessee Titans. They're 1-4 now, moving down from 29 last week. Yeah, they lost 2017 to the Colts. Yeah, they're not doing that good. Yeah, like we'll see how Levis does the rest of the year. He's had a lot of costly turnovers. He's giving us some memes. He's like every week. But yeah, just like I feel like they might do better just if Rudolph play, just because he probably wouldn't give you costly turnovers every game. That like leads to helps the other team win big swing for the win. But we'll see there. Say at the number 30, I get the Cleveland Browns. They're 1-5, with them down from 28 last week. They lost 2016 to the Eagles this week. A part of the reason I consider putting them below the Titans just because I think they both have good defenses. Their offenses are around the same, and then Browns also just traded Murray Cooper. But I feel like the Browns are eventually no bench Deshaun Watson play Jameis Winston, and when they eventually do that, I think I'm higher on Jameis Winston than Mason Rudolph / Will Levis at this point. Like I don't think Winston's will be much better to Watson, but he can't be much worse because Watson has not been that good. But we'll see. Like they're just not that good. We'll see if Chubb's a big turn or change for them this week when he comes back. But like, there's only so much of a difference a running back can make for you. But yeah, number 29 got the New England Patriots. They're 1-5. I moved them up from 32 last week. Yes, they lost to the Texans, but Drake May looked good. He threw for more touchdowns in their game that week than Jacoby Brissett had all season so far. Like their projections still isn't good. Their weapons still aren't that good either. But their defense is so all right. It's just like I feel like Jake May can keep this up a little bit. That's why I'm moving up. So I feel like he can be better than any of these teams under them quarterbacks. Because Watson's been bad. Levis has had some struggles. Dalton / Young are not that have had a lot of struggles. Versus May, yes, it was one game, but it was against a good team in the Texans, and he still looked relatively good. So yeah, the number 28, I got the Miami Dolphins. They're still 2-3. I can move them up from 30. They had a bye week this week, so they didn't play. See how they do. It sounds like Tua's gonna be back soon. I wish he would take a more extra time to get healthy, but it doesn't sound like he's gonna be doing that. But we'll see how they do. Um, like this, like I feel like that they also, like all these teams behind them obviously lost. Then like they didn't lead all this, but still like Tua coming back soon. This should be better than Huntley. And then they still have a lot of good skills position players. They still got some talent on defense, so that's why I moved them up from some of these teams. So yeah, number 27. I get the Las Vegas Raiders 2-4. Get them here at 27. Yes, they lost to the Steelers big this week. They lost 32-13. Yeah, but the Steelers are a great defense. Quarterback play is not that good. Like if Devontae Adams been playing these past weeks, I'll probably move him down. But they haven't been playing with him lately, so it's not like that's something make a big difference because he hasn't played the last 2 weeks. So like we'll see. I just don't think any of the teams behind them did good enough to move up in front of them. So I didn't move them up. Like if the Dolphins had played and won, they'd be in front of the Raiders. But yeah, I just don't think the Raiders did bad enough. So other teams did good enough to move up in front of them. So yeah, number 26, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're 1-5 now. They moved them down from 25. They lost 35-16 to the Bears. Bears are looking good, pretty offense looking really good. The Bears defense is also really good. I'll talk about that more when I get to their ranking. But yeah, Jags are just bad. It's just kind of the same thing with the Raiders. I don't think any teams did good enough to move up in front of them. Yes, the Jags didn't do that good. But I just don't think anybody did good enough to move in front of them. Just like even if they did bad, some teams do bad some weeks, but it's like if nobody does good enough to move up in front of you, it doesn't really matter a ton. Obviously, still move down one spot. Like I just don't think anybody was good enough to move them up, move the Jags down even 2 spots. So yeah, they're back in London this week. They play the Patriots. That should be a win. Like if their season's pretty much already over, but like if they lose that game, it's for sure over. We'll see if they decide to leave Doug Peterson in London. Kind of funny if they just fire him and then say, good luck in the back because we're leaving you. Yeah, we'll see. Either way, Jags are just not that good. So yeah, that's it for that. So let's go to the next. Number 25, I got the New York Giants. They're 2-4. I moved them up from 26. Yes, they lost to the Bengals, but they lost only 17-7 against Bengals team that should be turning around soon. They want to make the playoffs. And they still don't have Malik Neighbors. So yes, it's like they're off. Like their offense still isn't been good, but like it should be better once he gets back out of concussion protocol. Well, they're dealing with some injuries on defense. Came out Thibodeau's gonna be out a while. But yeah, I just think I just think they did good enough in that loss, especially without their best defensive player, skill position player, I should say, because Andrew Thomas is good too. But he might be done for the year, so we'll see. But yeah, number 24, I got the New Orleans Saints. With them, they're 2-4. With them down from 20. Man, what a downfall for that great start. This is why I was hesitant to start the season, move them up super high, just because like I kind of I didn't think they would fall this badly, like to start off 2-0 and lose 4 in a row. But like I kind of figured it would be to keep that up, and that has happened. Spencer Rattler looked decent. Like he had some bad turnovers, but he has some good plays as well. But hey, like it's not his fault. His defense gave up 51 points. Like if you give up 50 plus points, you can't expect to win very much. Just saying. But also, like, if you're saying, like, congrats, you scored 27 points in one quarter. You guys score more. You can't just score all your points in one quarter. Like, that's not how you're going to win most games. But yeah, they just get demolished. But yeah, like, we'll see how they do. So yeah, number 23, I get the Denver Broncos. They're 3-3 now. Moved them down from 21 last week. They lost this week to who was it? Chargers 23-16. So it's a close game. Chargers coming off a bye week, so the Chargers had that advantage just because they had an extra week of rest, extra week being able to game plan for them. It sometimes helps. So yeah, but either way, like their run game's been bad. We'll see if getting Mike McGlinchey back soon will help because they did activate his practice window to get him back from injured reserve. So we'll see how soon he comes back. That sometimes it does, but it doesn't always mean they'll come back the first week they open that practice window. It does happen sometimes, but it usually doesn't. They did do it yesterday, so they did give him a whole week to do it. We'll see. Either way, they need some help on that line. They need some help in the run game. But yeah, their defense is looking great though. So yeah. And then number 22, I got the Arizona Cardinals. They're 2-4 now. I moved them down from 19 last week. They lost 34-13 to the Packers. Like I don't think they would have won with him, but it definitely didn't help their offense not having Marvin Harrison Jr. for most of the game. Like doesn't help that losing your best skill position player. But even then, like you're not the only. I don't think they would have won even then, just because they gave it up 34 points. Just like their defense just does not have enough talent to help their offense if it struggles. It's like to keep in games, the Cardinals' offenses do great, or they're not going to be keeping in games. But yeah, Packers are a good team either way. The number 21, I got the LA Rams. They're still 1-4. I moved them up from 24 last week. They had a bye week this week, so they didn't play. The reason I moved them up 3 spots is just because some of the teams I had in front of them before lost, so I felt they deserved to move down. Also, they had a bye week, so they have more time to get healthy. Hopefully, Cooper Kupp will come back. Doesn't sound like Puka Nakobiak for a couple of weeks. But Cooper Kupp's gonna be a huge addition back and help that offense. So yeah, like that's part of the reason. Just hoping that bye week helps get some of their injured guys back because they have a lot of injuries. So yeah, number 20, I get the Seattle Seahawks. They're 3-3 now, with them down from 17. They lost to the Niners this week on Thursday Night Football. Their defense is just not doing that great. Like they gave up 36 points. I guess they got 24 points, but one of them that was a long kickoff return. So it's like their offense only really got 17. But yeah, like it just sucks. Like you start off so good, now you're struggling. Geno said some bad throws. But yeah, Seahawks are just struggling a bit. It's just since even if the Rams are getting a little more healthy, just because since the Rams didn't play, I didn't think they did enough. I don't think that was enough to move up in front of the Seahawks. So I kept the Rams just 1 spot below the Seahawks. But we'll see how they do. Either way, that sucks for Seahawks. Like if they could have won that game, like that would have been a big game to get the division lead. Like because Austin Rams didn't play, but then obviously you get the win over the Niners. The Cardinals are struggling. The Cardinals are bad. So it's like you'd be 4-2, so you'd have a 2-game lead on your division. So yeah. And hey, good on the Niners. They finally got a division win this year. Seems like they have given up 10-point leads to everybody in their division they played so far this year. They did do it. So yeah. Number 19, get the LA Chargers. They're 3-2 now. With them up 23. Coming off the bye week. I bet you they beat the Broncos. Good on them. Sounds like it's a good thing Harbaugh's fine. Like to get that win with Harbaugh dealing with that stuff. Good on them. So yeah, good on the Chargers. Number 18, I got the Indianapolis Colts. They're 3-2. They're 3-3 now. I won them up from 22 last week. They moved the Titans 20-17. So good on them. They got to win. Yes, it was a close game, but still wins a win. Flacco's looking good. We'll see if they start Richardson. They probably will, just because he is a top 5 pick in the second year. But even then, since it seems like Richardson gets injured a ton, Flacco might not be too long until Flacco comes back. Like I don't hope Richardson gets injured, but just saying, Richardson has dealt with a lot of injuries so far in his career. See what happens there. And number 17, I got the New York Jets. They're 2-4 now. I moved them up from 18. Yes, they lost to the Bills. It was a relatively close game. I originally moved them down, but getting that trading for Davante Adams made me want to move them up instead. But I didn't think they deserved to move up too far. It's just, hey, you made a trade, you got an upgrade, receiver group, and here's your like Garrett Wilson, Davante Adams should be good an 1-2 punch, a wide receiver. Then if Mike Williams is healthy, he's a good number 3. So yeah. So yeah. Number 16, I give the Dallas Cowboys. They're 3-3, with them down from 12. Got demolished by the Lions, 47-9. Like there's a reason I put Brandon Aubrey, their kicker, in that picture, because he got all their points this week. Seems like he's been their best player because he's been really good for them this year with long field goals. Yeah, bad loss for the Cowboys. They're still dealing with a lot of injuries, so we'll see how they do. But yeah, like going into last season, once I heard they hired Mike Zimmer, I'm like, well, you're gonna regret it. It's just because Mike Zimmer is not a good defensive coach anymore. He was years ago, but he just isn't anymore. So yeah. So at this rate, McCarthy and Zimmer are gonna be gone anyways after the season, if they make it to the end of the season. So yeah, that's it for that side. Let's go to the next one. Number 15, I got the Cincinnati Bengals. They're 2-4 now. Let's kept them at 15 from last week. They beat the Giants 17-7. Yes, they pretty much shut down the Giants' offense, but that was without Mike Neighbors, their best skill position player. So yeah, but their offense looked all right. It didn't look great, but it didn't look terrible either. So yeah, they still got the win. I still don't think they did enough to move up. So I didn't. Number 14, got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're 4-2 now. I kept them at 14 from last week. Yep, they beat the Raiders. Why am I blanking? 32-13, like I said earlier. Big win from them. Yes, they got a blowout win, but it was against a bad Raiders team. So I don't think they did good enough to move up. I don't think any of the teams in front of them that lost did bad enough to move behind them. So I just kept them the same. Back on Steelers. Just like I said, start of the season. No Mike Tomlin, they're gonna win a record. This right, they will be. Just because that's what Mike Tomlin does. He doesn't care if he does go to playoffs. He's like as long as he gets that winning record in the regular season, he is fine. But yeah, number 13, got the Chicago Bears. They're 4-2 now. With them up from 16. They've demolished the Jags in London. Good on them. They didn't have Jaquan Brisker. They're starting safeties because of injury. But yeah, their offense is looking a lot better lately. Their defense is still as good as been great all season. So good on them. Bears are looking good. Like this NFC North is looking loaded. Like this is the first NFC North that I've talked about so far in this video. And they're 13. Like there's literally 4 NFC North teams in the top 13. This division's looking really good. Like so the point differential, like the top 4 teams and the 4 teams in NFC North have a better point differential than all the other divisions. Like each 4 teams in any other divisions combined. So like let's say the NFC East, like those 4 teams combined have a worse point differential than all 4 NFC North teams. I don't know if that's a good example. I don't know everybody's point differential, like combined division off the top of my head. But like that's just one of the divisions. Like that's crazy. In their first NFC North's the first division to have all 4 teams in it to have 4 or more wins in the first 6 weeks since the realignment in 2002 when the Texans joined the league. Like, that's crazy. So yeah, number 12, I get the Washington Commanders. They're 4-2 now, with them down from 9. They lost to the Ravens, but it was a close game, and the Ravens are a great team. Like, so there's so much you can do with that, but now you're losing your star defensive tackle for the season, Jonathan Allen, but he's still Jerome Payne. He's still a good player, but you're right, it's still a big loss. Jaden Daniels is still looking good, so it's not like he just struggled either. But yeah, obviously you can't expect to win everything. So yeah. Number 11, I get the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 3-2 now. Kept them at 11 from last week. They beat the Browns 2016 coming off their bye. Yes, they won, but they barely beat a bad Browns team. So it's just like, yeah, and then I just don't think there was enough to warrant moving them up. But I just thought it was close. I consider the Commanders above them, but just the Commanders lost, and then the Eagles actually won, and it's like the Commanders barely moved down. So it's like it was close. But they're good, and the Eagles for getting to win. They have an above 500 record. So yeah, number 10, I got the Atlanta Falcons. They're 4-2 now. I moved them up from 13 last week. They beat the Panthers. Sorry, at the 20, like I said, it's like Panthers earlier. So good on them. Kirk is still looking good. Their defense is looking a little better. It's hard to judge when you face the Panthers just because the Panthers are not a good offense. But hey, you still did relatively good. Good on them for getting the win. So yeah, number 9, I got the NFC South team. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're 4-2 now. With them up from 10 last week, they demolished the Saints team 51-27. You got a 50-pointer. That's crazy. So good on them for getting the win. It's just the Saints have a lot of injuries, so I don't think that was enough to move them up a lot. So I didn't. I still don't think that's enough. When you just so yeah. And number 8, I got the San Francisco 49ers. We're 3-3 now, but them down from 7. Yes, they won against the Seahawks. I just don't think they did enough, and I think the other teams did better. They did good enough, did better this week to move up in front of them. So yeah, it's just tough when they stop these rankings because like every single top 10 team this week either didn't play or they won. So it's like no team lost. So it's like the only top 10 team from last week that lost was the Commanders, at least I think. So yeah, so it's not like it was tough to do some movement when like the teams that didn't play, the Chiefs and the Vikings, are 5-0. So yeah. Speaking of the Chiefs, number 7, got the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 5-0 still. They moved them down from 5 last week. They had their bye, so they didn't play. Just I originally had the Chiefs at 6, and the Bills still at 7, but then the Amari Cooper trade happened, so I felt like that warranted the Bills moving up one more spot in front of the Chiefs. So I did that, just getting those Bills some help for our receiver, which they've needed. So I felt like that was enough. So yeah, but I'm not really talking about the Chiefs just because they're on a bye week. But yeah, number 6, get the Buffalo Bills. They're 4-2 now. Moved them up from 8 last week. You know, they got a win on the Jets. So yeah, they only won. Like the kickers were doing terrible, so it would have been a lot different if all the kicks were made. But then he had that Hail Mary at the end of the first half. That was you got Aaron Rodgers, who's great at Hail Mary, so but still. So yeah, good Bellstring in the win. They got to upgrade our receiver in Cooper. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I moved them up from the Chiefs. That's kind of why it's taking longer this video, just because like it's a little longer for me to record it, just because I had all these rankings done, but then the trades happened, so I had to edit them a little bit. So yeah, that's it for the slash. Go to the top 5. Number 5, I got the Houston Texans. They're 5-1 now. I moved them down, excuse me, from 4 last week. Sorry about that. Yeah, they got a big win. They beat the Patriots 40 something, 41-21. So they won by 20. Yeah, you gave up 3 touchdowns to Drake May, but hey, your Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter look great. They had a really good games together last week, but also the Patriots were terrible line. Your offense looked good, like it should. Be good. Texas gonna win. Just I think who I moved up in front of them, the Packers did good enough, just demolishing I think a little better team of the Cardinals to move up in front of the Texans. So yeah, number 4, I got the Green Bay Packers. They're 4-2 now. They were up from 6 last week. They beat a Cardinals team 34-13 this week, so good on them. They won by 21, so different scores, but they won by around the same points as the Texans. And I think the Cardinals are a little better team. Even without Marvin Harrison Jr., I think the Cardinals are still a little better. So yeah, Good Packers got to win. So yeah, like this NFC North, the division titles literally don't come down to the wire because like the Bears are 4-2, the Packers are 4-2, the Vikings are 5-0, the Lions are 4-1, and then the Vikings and Lions play each other this week, so that's gonna be a big game on Sunday. I'm sad. I was kind of hoping they would NFL move it to like one of the night games, just because like having that big of a game with even at this early in the season, like those like 2 good records, 2 division rivals, and having that at noon instead when both are really good teams so far, could have just moved them to one of the late night games. But yeah, either way. Number 3, I got another NFC North team. I got the Minnesota Vikings. They're 5-0 still, then down from last week. Which is, I think the teams I moved up in front of them did good enough to move up in front of them because like I said this last week for the power rankings. It's just tough to keep at the same spot or move up when you're on a bye week sometimes, just because you didn't play. Versus some teams around you might have won. So yeah, and then Vikings added definitely running back in Cam Akers in case Aaron Jones not playing this week. So good there. And then we'll see if JJ Hawkinson ends up playing this week. Sounds like he's like physically ready. Just they might take a precaution and wait till week 8 or 9 just because they have Vikings play Sunday this week, obviously. And then, they play on Thursday night against the Rams. So we'll see. Maybe that's why they didn't move the Vikings game, Lions game to late night. Still. So yeah. Then we get the last NFC North team. We get the Detroit Lions. They're 4-1 now. I moved them up from 3. I moved them up from 3 last week. They lost Cowboys team, so good on them. If it wasn't for Aiden Hutchinson's injury, I probably would have kept them. Probably would have moved up to 1 in front of the Ravens just because of that huge blowout. But just because since they lost their best defensive player, I didn't. I guess only moved them up one. Will he see with the I assume I'll trade for somebody at edge just because Hutchinson's out to them for the year. And then will they sign this offseason to be try to be an number two edge? Like Stanford also is done for the year. So yeah, we'll see how they do. Maybe it's not. There's rumors going around they might trade for Max Crosby. See that happens. Just like I feel like Max Crosby would get a lot. Like you usually don't see first round picks get traded in the middle of the season. Like I can't really think of one time that happened. It's usually in the off season that stuff happens, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Because that Max Crosby should warrant at least one first round pick plus some other picks. And number one, I got the Baltimore Ravens. They're 4-2 now. With them up from 2 last week, they beat the Commanders. Good enough. Commanders have been looking good so far this year. Derrick Henry is doing a lot better. They're finally doing better to actually use their running game a little more. Lamar's still looking good. Their defense is still struggling a little bit, but it's still doing a little better. Megan and Ravens, like these top 5 teams, like they all look hard to beat. Like you know what's crazy? Like the Vikings have a chance if they to beat the three of these top 5 teams this year. So they beat the Texans already this honestly. They already beat the Packers, and now this week they play the Lions. If they win that one, just like not only the Vikings 6-0, they beat three. They beat really good teams. So yeah, and they also beat the Niners, who are in the top 5, but they're still in the top 10. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have a good one.